Welcome to the third episode of Inside Campus. I'm your host, Adam Bramson. This is the only show that takes you inside the Lafayette men's soccer program. Today, our show is taking place inside the Maroon Club Strength Center. Coach Bohn, it's great to have you here. Tell me why we're in the Maroon Club right now.
Well, it's that time of the year, just coming out of winter season. Our players spent a lot of time in here over the last couple of months, so I thought it'd be appropriate for us to have our third episode of Inside Campus here inside the weight room.
Yeah, people are getting fit, people are getting strong. It's that time of year, 6 a.m. lifts.
Yeah, many.
No better place to be than the Maroon Club. So love the new location. I also want to touch on the Coach O shirt. You got some great swag you're rocking right now.
Yes.
Tell the camera why you're rocking that shirt.
Well, recently, Coach Ohanlon just finished his 27th year of coaching here basketball on the men's side at Lafayette, and so I thought it'd be appropriate to sport the Coach Ohanlon T-shirt for our episode today.
You got to rep the legend.
No doubt. Honor working with him and being one of his friends, and it's the end of an era, a really positive person in our community, not just on the basketball court.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm sure as another coach in the athletics department, you guys have shared battle stories together. Is there anything you can touch on based on, experiences you've had with him, maybe things you've learned from him in the past, or, just being able to relate to him as the experience of being a Lafayette athletics coach?
Well, he's just a true professional, someone who I could lean on during times of maybe difficulty, both professionally and personally, and just someone that I trust and have total respect for. He's, as you said, a legend and someone that is truly going to be missed, but I wish him and his wife Nancy and his kids Gigi and little Timmy nothing but the best.
Great. Well, this is the show that takes you inside the Lafayette men's soccer program, so let's dive in. The fall 2021 season, recap it for me, give me some notable moments. Tell me where we're leaving the boys off and what happened in this past fall.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a roller coaster season. We finished 500 on the dot, 7-7-4. So couldn't get any more, I would say, 500 than that. Not only in the results, but also with our goals for and our goals against. We were I think +1, so we were right almost even in the amount of goals we scored and gave up. So it wasn't what we expected and what we had been hoping for, but there were no doubt some really positive moments for the team in some of our victories. Win down at Loyola on the road against the eventual Patriot League champions, and many other really positive moments. We had a lot of individual standouts. We had 5 guys make all conference. So Marcos and Andrew both made second team, and Giannis, Hale, and Nick all made third team. So having 5 guys all conference was great, and knowing that 4 of those guys are coming back next year, makes it very very exciting for the future.
Awesome. And amongst that group, of players, there were some seniors that had their final season with the team. Tell me a little bit about those 3 seniors and the impact they had on the program, and what's next for them and how they did here.
Yeah, we only had 3 seniors, so not a ton of guys, but all 3 made impacts on the program in very unique ways. Asher Carlson was a backup goalkeeper for us, and though he didn't start or play much, had a huge influence in a positive way on the team, in the locker room, in holding teammates accountable to the Leopard Way and our culture, and is someone who's right now in training to become a Marine, and he and I text on a weekly basis about what he's going through during boot camp, and I know he's making all of us very, very proud.
Do you think that any of his experiences here prepared him for boot camp?
Well, he texted me quite a few times recently and said that was the case, so I think there's no doubt he's leaning on his relationships and his experiences here to help him, I think, get through some really difficult times.
And do you take pride in knowing that it prepared him for boot camp, or are you like, maybe it was too tough if he's comparing it to boot camp?
No, he was definitely saying it in a positive way that Lafayette soccer prepared him for the next chapter of his life. We haven't had many guys go the military route, but I am proud of Asher for having the courage to go that route. It's something he's passionate about, and I'm happy to know that we as a Lafayette soccer program played a little part in helping him, accomplish his goals.
Yeah. And Marty and Andrew Venezia.
Yep.
Two notable seniors.
Yep, Marty and Andrew Venezia. Marty Sasenga, both were starters for us. Both had great careers on the field and were big impact guys for us. And so, they're both working. Andrew's down in Washington, D.C., Marty's in New York. So all three seniors are settled into their next chapters, and all three made huge impacts. And again, Marty and Andrew will be the two that we lose from the starting lineup. They'll be sorely missed in many ways, but it is exciting to know that we're bringing back so many players, both in the starting lineup as well as on the roster for next year.
So we talked a little bit about some of the great players that are now leaving the program. Why don't we dive into some of the great players or this class that's going to be coming into the program? We recently announced a new recruiting class. Speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, as I just said, we only had 3 seniors, so we didn't have to bring in a lot of quantity. We're just looking more for quality and specific positions. We're bringing in a class of 6, and we think we've filled the positional needs that we were looking for, as well as just really trying to bring in talent, as you said, and just really trying to create more competition within the roster. And we do believe that all 6 young men are going to be able to come in, and as crazy as it may sound with so many players back, we do think that all 6 have a chance to come in and play right away.
Awesome. And I know you like to recruit kids in your backyard, as you say, the New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York area. What's the wide range of, we got kids from all over the world, kids all over the country. What's this recruiting class look like geographically?
Well, we do have our first from Idaho.
Wow.
So
Get your potatoes ready.
Exactly. So we do have a young man who went to Taft for a PG year, but is originally from Idaho. So we're excited about his ability to expand our horizons.
It adds some culture to the program.
Exactly.
Some needed Idaho culture.
No doubt.
I always said something that Lafayette soccer needs is a little more Idaho.
I'm glad to have it.
And now we're getting it.
I'm glad to have it. So Nick is coming from there. The rest of the guys are mostly from the geographic kind of footprint of Lafayette. But there's no doubt I get to say that I might be the first coach to have recruited a young man from there.
That's impressive. No matter what happens, you pulled that off.
Exactly.
So there you go. Sounds like the class is great. A lot to look forward to with this roster. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the impact that the Lafayette men's soccer team is making off the field as well. Last time we spoke, there were a number of great initiatives that you guys had began, one of them being the Earn Your Spots book club. Can we speak a little bit about maybe any recent updates to what that initiative has led to and the type of impact that the players and the team and the coaches are making?
Yeah, well, we're just about to start season 3 of Earn Your Spots book club. Our players will be going into the Easton community, into 2 elementary schools, Paxenosa and Cheston, over the next 2 months. And right now, in both schools, we're planning on reading face-to-face. Because now with no issues with COVID, we're able to get out and do it. The last 2 seasons were virtual, but over the next 2 months and the end of the semester here, we're going to go out, read books to K through 5th grade in both of those schools, and then we're also going to gift over 1,000 books to a few different grades as part of the program. So all 25 of our players are going to participate in that. And it's exciting for us to not only push literacy and push education and reading, but for our players to start to get to know some of the young kids in the area.
Who do you think, we got everyone on the team is participating. Who do you think is the best reader in front of children? Who if you had to pick one star pupil to be the performer, the reader, the guy who's telling the best story to these kids, who are you picking?
I think the most enjoyable is Giannis because of his broken English coming from Cyprus, the kids think that's funny.
I did not expect that.
Yes. He may not be the smoothest, but he is definitely the guy that the kids enjoy the most. And they actually ask him and Marcos maybe the most questions because of their accents and their broken English. So I would say Giannis would be the guy that I would bring along with me if I wanted to get the crowd excited.
They add a certain flair to the story. They play the character.
A little bit something different.
I could see Giannis buying into the theatrics.
Yes, he actually does, and like I said, I think them trying to figure out where Cyprus is also another part of the conversation. So we usually break out the map and show them where Cyprus is. So.
You're showing them literacy skills and geography.
No doubt.
Wow, that's impressive. I respect that. That is something that probably how old are the kids?
K through 5, kindergarten through 5.
Every kid K through 5 could use some of that. So look at you. Good for Marcos. Good for Giannis. Good for the program. So you guys do a lot of things off the field. I know that was one of the things that I took from being part of the Lafayette men's soccer program is the impact that we didn't just want to be remembered as soccer players. We want to be remembered as vital members of the community. And if we were just remembered as soccer players, then we didn't necessarily do our jobs, because we have this platform to do awesome things, and it's our duty and our opportunity to fill those shoes. And another thing that you guys do, which has been a great initiative, has been the speaker series, the Lead the Way speaker series. And I know that you guys are carrying that through into the spring with, I believe, another speaker coming.
Yep.
Could you speak a little bit more about that and any updates to that other initiative? Yeah, well, the League Council, is working hard. We actually have a meeting next week. So there's our black alumni are still mentoring our current black players and are still involved in all the initiatives that we had started over the previous few years. But the one that is no doubt moving forward is our Lead the Way speaker series. And so our alumni group is working in conjunction with the Oaks Leadership Academy to bring in Jason Redmond as a speaker in the beginning of May, and he's going to speak to the entire Easton and Lafayette community. He is a best-selling author and a former, speaking of military earlier with Asher, he's a former Navy SEAL who was injured in combat, and he speaks, he's a motivational speaker who talks about overcoming obstacles, and he's going to come in and talk to, again, everyone in our Easton community about just ways that we can all try to make ourselves better and deal with adversity, and I'm excited to have him. You guys do a lot of awesome things that make the Lafayette men's soccer program so special, and the speaker series and the Earn Your Spots book club are just prime examples of you guys using that opportunity to do great things off the field. So we love hearing about that, and we also know that part of the ability to do things like that is alumni support and the support of the program past just the people that are here. But like you said, supplying 1,000 books, that's not possible without the support of, outside people. So are there, specific areas or people to thank for helping make these types of initiatives possible? Well, it's all of our donors, which is hundreds and hundreds of people, from alumni to parents to just people in the Easton community who know Lafayette soccer and support the program. So to all our supporters, I want to say thank you. We want to be able to do what we do on the field from a coaching standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, from an equipment standpoint if it wasn't for our friends of Lafayette soccer, but we also want to be able to go out and do things like we're doing in the community, and want to be able to host the Lead the Way speaker series and do the Earn Your Spots book club if it wasn't for the generosity of our Friends of group. That's great. That's great. And this show is for the Friends of Lafayette Soccer. So to anyone watching who is a part of these initiatives, thank you. Continue to support and help these initiatives continue, because they make a huge impact on the community. Yeah, we take great pride in being a championship program and continuing to compete for championships, but also in making that connection with the community and making sure that, as you said earlier, that our players are more than just students and even just more than student athletes, but that they experience things off campus to help them become better humans. Absolutely. So we've touched on a lot of the great things that you guys do off the field, a lot of the stuff that we can expect in the spring. Let's continue with that trend.
and shift gears a little bit more towards the soccer side of it. What can the spring look like? What are we expecting? Do we have a spring schedule set? And how does it feel knowing that the guys are going to be playing soccer again pretty soon?
Well, we're all very excited. I know they'll still be in this weight room, but they're excited to kind of transition out of the weight room and more so onto the field and back into full training here after spring break. So we'll have our full spring season outdoors, going 6 days a week. We'll have our 5 spring games. The guys are excited about competing and just trying to grow individually and grow as a group. We'll actually finalize this spring season playing Lehigh this year, and it seems a little odd that we're playing Lehigh in the spring, but we have found a great way to unite with Lehigh to play that match at Cottingham Stadium, which is the Easton Area School District's football stadium. And so in the neighborhoods where we go and do our read alouds for Earn Your Spots Book Club, we're going to play Lehigh in a game there to promote literacy even more. And we're excited to try to get a big crowd out for that match, and that is Friday night, April 22nd.
And I'm guessing that is the last game.
That is, yeah, that will be the completion of our spring season against Lehigh at Cottingham Stadium, which we haven't been able to officially check, but we think it might be the first Lafayette athletic event ever at Cottingham Stadium. Wow. And so we're excited about that moment.
That's a great way to end the spring season. Yep. You got to come out with the win.
Oh, that's the plan.
So you're telling me that some of the kids that are part of the Earn Your Spots Book Club will be in the stands watching that game, hopefully?
That was the whole motivation. The whole motivation of us playing the game there was that so many kids were asking about how they could come watch us play, but it might be a little bit difficult for them to get out to our field. So we thought, you know what, let's bring a spring game to them, and we're going into the city of Easton and playing that match. And then during our read alouds, we're going to promote with them to have their parents and family and friends bring them to the game that night.
That's awesome. Wow, I love how it all kind of ties together.
Trying.
Just like this interview, it's a full circle. It all comes together.
That's the plan.
What can you say? I'm a good interviewer. That's why I'm brought back.
No doubt.
That's why we've had 3 episodes so far.
We bust you in today for this one, so I appreciate your time.
Exactly. Hey, I love being back. So another thing that's on the Lafayette soccer radar, we recently had Founders Day. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the big news, maybe some of the renovations that were announced on Founders Day, and who's responsible for them, who can we thank, and give some details to the people watching of what we can expect.
Yeah, well, some exciting news just came out. We are going to have renovations out at Metzger Fields for the current Mike Berger 44 field at Oak Stadium. Under the generosity of Peter Gummison, class of '80, the entire soccer complex is now going to be called Gummison Grounds. So it'll be Gummison Grounds, home of Mike Berger 44 field at Oak Stadium, and hopefully, August of 2023, our Lafayette men's and women's players will be playing in that new stadium. It's going to be a $3.5 million project, but we do need the help of everybody that's watching this video. Peter Gummison and his family was kind enough to give the lead gift and generate the start of this project, but we still have a long way to go. But it's exciting news, and in my time here, probably along with getting athletic scholarships and winning championships, this announcement is right up there as one of the most important things to happen to our program.
That's awesome. And yeah, speak a little bit, if you could, a little bit more about what this means to the program, what this means to not only the future of Lafayette soccer, but the legacy of Lafayette soccer. It's going to be called Gummison Grounds for a reason, because of this awesome donation and this man who got the ball rolling for the program. Tell me a little bit about what this means for the future, but also the history of Lafayette men's soccer.
Yeah, well, it's a vision that Peter and I have been speaking about for almost 2 years now, and it's something that he was passionate about, trying to create an environment for our players, both male and female, as well as for our fans, to come to a location, come to a facility, come to a venue, come to a soccer game where everybody could just take great pride in the enjoyment of what we all as soccer fans know is unique. And so it's a soccer-specific venue, and it's going to have a very international feel to it. with stands that have an overhang, standing terraces behind the goals, and just many little areas where people can view the match depending on what their personal preference is. And so it's going to be much more specific to a European, South American type of soccer stadium than an American, say, football stadium that most high schools or colleges have. And so it's going to make it what we believe is the best soccer facility in the Patriot League, and we believe one of the most unique in the country.
That's great. And, you know, something for anyone watching this to think about, because obviously we want people to support, people to help make this vision and dream come true. Some perks of making this vision and dream come true. We got Gummison grounds, but there's going to be other parts of the stadium, guys. So maybe there will be a Bramson bleachers or something, or whoever's willing to.
We are going to have what we just discussed it the other day. We're going to have a supporters wall. So anybody that donates any amount of money will get their name or their family name or a relative's name on the supporters wall. Also, with now having seat-backed seats in the stands, people are going to be able to donate and have a seat back with their name or their class year or their jersey number on it if it's a former player. And so there's going to be, yes, many different ways that we are going to celebrate those that donate to the program, donate to the project throughout the stadium itself.
Wow. So you're telling me I could have a Adam Bramson number 26 seat?
Yes.
I might have to buy myself a chair.
There you go. There you go. And when you come back for the games then, or your mom or dad do, they can sit in the
They
Adam
will
Bramson
sit
chair.
in that chair.
Yes.
And hopefully, you know, I guess we'll take turns. You know, I'll go and I'll sit in the
I
chair.
have a funny feeling if you come, you'll be behind the goal on the terrace with the
Students next.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate. You know, I'll be right on the fence or, you know, wherever is closest to the field where I can celebrate with whoever scores the next goal.
That's what we expect.
Well, that's great, and that's an awesome initiative. And are there specific ways that people watching this can get involved, places to go, links to follow?
As of right now, I would say call me, email me, and I'll point you in the right direction. So there's no doubt there's been a great support and partnership from the development office and the athletic department. But for the sake of this interview, I would say if anybody's interested in knowing more about the stadium renovation, knowing more about how we're going to make it the best soccer facility in the Patriot League, to just reach out to me either via phone or email, and I'll point you in the right direction and give you even more information if you want it.
Perfect. And again, just a huge shout out to Peter Gummison for getting the ball rolling on this awesome project, and something that'll be incredibly meaningful to players of Lafayette soccer past, but also the future and future of this program.
Yeah, great pride, I think, for those that played there in the past and wore the Lafayette jersey over the last 110 years, but also a great thing for recruiting and also for our community, so that when fans come out, we're getting more and more people to the games, and I think to have a venue like this is going to even produce more attendance and give our students something really enjoyable to come and support.
That's awesome. That's great. So we talked a lot about, you know, this spring and what's to come in these next upcoming months, but something that's always on the minds of friends of the program, people within the program, is what can we expect from the next fall 2022 season. So let's talk a little bit about expectations, what you're hoping for, anything notable about the team or the roster, things to be excited about. What are you looking forward to with this group of guys that we have?
Yeah, it's just, it's really an enjoyable group to work with. They're unselfish. We have a ton of experience, great leadership. So it's enjoyable, always enjoyable to come to work every day, but with this group, it's very low maintenance, which I think for a coach is something that is a positive. The guys want to be successful every day, and the talent level, not only of all the all-conference players that I spoke about earlier, but of our entire roster is deep, is strong positionally, and with the new incoming recruits, we really believe that the expectations are high. The sky's the limit in all of our games, but you know, we expect to be competing for a Patriot League championship next fall.
That's awesome. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This was another awesome edition of Inside Campus. I'm your host, Adam Bramson. As always, I was joined by head men's soccer coach Dennis Bohn. If you want to support the program, you heard him, you can just call him directly. We'll put a phone number right at the bottom of this video, and just let him know how you want to help. In all seriousness, it's always great catching up. It's always great learning what's going on with the program, and thanks for having me back.
No problem. Thank you, Adam, and again, thanks to all those that support Lafayette men's soccer.